Think about that. And these are his words to explicitly say that we must focus entirely on being black and be centered in our blackness. And this is why this speech today is in presentation is about the future of black business by any means necessary. So who had it right? That's right. Booker T had it right. Black power. That's what I'm talking about. So when we think about our ancient ancestors, we don't have to go with the fluff, you guys. We can go back. And how many have been back to ancient Kemet, Egypt today? Raise your hands. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't been there, you need to make your way. Our ancestors left on what I call the books of stone, everything that we need to know about the philosophy of black economic empowerment and who we are today. So you can even see in this illustration here on the tomb of Ramses III, you can actually see the delineation between all of the different races. This was thousands of years ago that we were calling ourselves black. At the first, from the bottom right, you see the Libyans. From the right on the top to the bottom rows, you can see clearly who the Nubians were, which are black. And you can also see in there the Asiatic perspective and also the white perspective as well. And so what I wanted to do is show you that as we walk around confused, that we need to be intentional in our directness to be identified and claim our identity as black. When I walk into a boardroom at General Motors or anywhere else, and they say, "Gay, we're doing great in minority business," I say, well, that's great, but let's look up under that hood. How are we doing with black businesses? Economic reciprocity, especially if we're buying cars from you in the trillions and billions of dollars over years. What is the return on investment to the community? And this is why we want to make sure that we identify ourselves specifically for who we are, because guess what? If you don't, we will remain at the bottom of the economic spectrum. People try to defy the odds. Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, in our acknowledgement of being black, the great Senegalese, raise your hand if you know who Dr. Diop is. All right. Oh, wow. We got some smart folk in the room here. The great Senegalese historian, anthropologist, and scholar, physicist, and also politician. Dr. Diop, how many of you all know, developed the melanin test? All right. So when we understand that the melanin dosage test was created by him, they tried to argue that even our ancestors were not black or had melanated skin. So he created this test to determine the phenotype of ancient Kemeticians and Egyptians and royal mummies by examining their melanin content. And out of this study, he found out that it was unequivocal that in the microscopic examination in the laboratory, studying all these ancient Kemet mummies, that it was unquestionable that this was the black race. So we always say as a lesson, the deeper they dig, the what? The blacker it gets, period. That's why they stopped digging. That's why they're closing up all of these tombs. That's why they're doing all the things, because the deeper they dig, the blacker it gets. So if they're working so hard to cover up blackness, why are we running away from it? So think about that. We need to be running ever so fast in front of it.